what's happening, partners and pilgrims? You found me again in my library. I'm Big BS, and this is Big B's Library. Thanks for stumbling in for another episode. This is a show where I take you through some of my old gaming guides, collector books, graphic novels, and the like. Show you what it takes on this pilgrimage to become a gaming god. Today, if you tuned in last week, you'll know what we got. Today is a very special day because it's one of my favorites of all time. Street Fighter 2 Turbo Edition guide. Back on the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. If you've never played Street Fighter, you're missing out. This is probably one of the better ones. There's a few that hit the top of the list. Arguably, this is one of the best ones. So much fun, so many hours put into this game. This guide right here will show you your way through it, show you how to become a great fighting gamer. So let's, before we check it out, don't forget to like and leave a comment. Let me know what you want to see in the next episodes, and most importantly, subscribe. Leave those notifications on so you know whenever I go put a new video up. We finally hit 50 subs here on Big BS channel, so we can start live streaming here. So keep an eye out for live streams coming as well. But yeah, without any further ado, let's get into the Street Fighter 2 Turbo guide. Alright, partners and pilgrims, what is happening? Today we got the very special Street Fighter 2 Turbo Strategy Guide. Covers the Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, and the Super Street Fighter 2 Arcade. Secret codes for Super Nintendo and Genesis. New arcade combos. Free poster. Hyper Fighting. It's by GamePro and Capcom. Now, GamePro, man, that used to be the name in gaming magazines, gaming news, back when this was released. But yeah, man, Street Fighter 2, excellent fighting game. Let's get into the first page here. It's looking like, as this is an older book, we got a little damage there. Half this picture got ripped out somewhere along the line, getting moved and shuffled. But here's what we got left of the fighters. M. Bison, Sagat, Blanca, Chun-Li, my favorite, Guile, Ryu, Ken, Balrog, Vega, Zangief back there, E. Honda, I can see his feet. That's how you know your fighting game, when you can tell the fighter by their feet. So we got new challengers. Let's just read this little intro here. Everybody's street fighting at home and in the arcades, so if you're going to whip the competition, you've got to learn how to adapt, improvise, and overcome. The Street Fighter 2 Turbo Strategy Guide gives you that competitive edge. It lays out a comprehensive training program for Street Fighter 2 Turbo for the SNES, Street Fighter 2 Special Champion Edition for the Genesis, or any arcade version of Street Fighter 2. And if you need motivation to improve your Street Fighter skills, take a long, hard look at the special section on the latest, greatest Street Fighter 2 machine, Super Street Fighter 2. The info here is right on thanks to the ace Street Fighter 2 players from Capcom USA and GamePro magazine who co-authored this book. In fact, James Goddard and David Winstead of Capcom have fought their way through arcades all over the US and Japan to gather the best tips and tactics in the world. They are also supporting game designers for Super Street Fighter 2. They also are the supporting game designers. The best are here to make you the best. Street Fighter 2 players of all calibers can use this book to improve their fighting techniques. Beginners will learn all the basic moves which they can use in any Street Fighter game. Intermediate players will learn lethal combos, killer cross-ups, power counter moves, and more. Expert players probably think they know it all. Guess again. We've gathered killer combos and tricky counter moves that few players have seen or are willing to reveal.
Of course, the hot news in the arcades is Super Street Fighter 2. We showcased the new moves, crushing combos, and crafty counter moves for all the 4 new characters: Cammy, DJ, Fei Long, and T-Hawk. And that's not all. This book is also a collector's edition because it showcases the top Street Fighter 2 art from Japan. Not only that, but you will meet an American Street Fighter pro, Tomo Ohira, who reveals his championship style. Also, the Street Fighter 2 pros rank every World Warrior matchup in the game, so you can judge if the odds are for or against your favorite characters. Alright, let's continue looking through the book here. There's Chun-Li and Ryu. We got the table of contents, beginners section, intermediate, computer hyper fighting, expert section, the art, new characters, tournaments, hyper fighting endings. We got the Warrior's Path, Street Speak, teaches you terminology, controller movement, practice, 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 know the enemy, know yourself, and the mean streets. So here we go into some classic cheat codes. The Street Fighter 2 phenomenon. This kind of gives you a little history of it. Street Fighter arcade history. Street Fighter 1 came out in August 97. Street Fighter 2 came out in February 91. Street Fighter 2 Championship Edition was April 92. Turbo Street Fighter 2 Championship Edition Hyper Fighting, November 92. And Super Street Fighter 2, October 93. And then the Street Fighter, that was all the arcades. Now we got the home history. When did this one come out? When did Super Street Fighter or Street Fighter 2 Turbo come out? Fighting Street for TurboGrafx CD in '89. Interesting. Street Fighter 2010 for NES in 1990. Really? Okay. Street Fighter 2 for SNES, July 92. Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition for PC Engine, June 93. Street Fighter 2 Turbo Hyper Fighting for SNES, there it is, August 93. The carbon copy of the home version of the Turbo. Okay. And we got some cheat codes here. Fight at the incredible 10-star speed. It's impossible. But I do remember you get some special endings if you can beat it on 10 stars. Disable specific techniques in versus mode. Disable all normal moves in one-player mode. Character versus battle. Okay. Basic trainings. You got your punches, your kicks, your button layouts here. Holds, blockings, throws. Low block, high block. Basic offense and defense. Your special techniques. Your 2-in-1s. Combination attacks. Giving you a lot of the basics here. Ryu's throws on the ground, special techniques. Ryu and Ken had that. Well, in Sagat too, I guess they had that, that flaming uppercut. It was kind of difficult to pull off back in the day. Maybe because I was younger, but. And then we got some Ryu combos. Guile combos, throws in air, advanced techniques, charge anytime. Guile's 2-in-1 combos. Some more combos, beginner combos. At this point, you should be comfortable with your friends Ryu, Guile, and Chun-Li, but you're still just fresh meat in the arcades. Now it's time to plan for revenge. The intermediate section contains some of the Street Fighter students' toughest lessons, but the reward will be great. Different combo classifications here listed. Intermediate training, combinations, combo, cross up, double cross up. Some of this stuff I probably don't even know, man. I don't even know if I really actually read through this in depth when I was pretty young when I got this, so I probably didn't even understand most of it. Cheap shots. There we go. Some of the artwork. Blanca. Look, check that out, man. That's awesome. Special techniques, electricity, intermediate crushing combos for Blanca. You can see the borders has each character name listed here. Blanka was awesome, man, because he could charge up electricity. So if people were trying to jump kick you over and over, you just hit that little tap the punch button. Electricity comes flying. Chun-Li was my favorite. This was when I first discovered Street Fighter 2, it was at the clubhouse of the apartments I used to live in. We'd get off the bus at school and go to the clubhouse. They had a Super Nintendo and a Sega Genesis hooked up, 2 separate rooms, and we'd all just hang out and play Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat all day. The first time I went there, I was like, man, this is awesome. And I saw Chun-Li, and I was like, I gotta play as Chun-Li. Like that became my favorite, my character there. The lightning kick, the whirlwind kick, fireball, super high whirlwind kick. I mean, she was just a badass, and she was kind of hot too. So, the roundhouse triple hit combo, 2 fierce lightning combo. Chun-Li, Chun-Li, Chun-Li. Chun-Li's become an icon for this game. Dalsim from India. Lots of yoga moves. Yoga fire, yoga flame. Yoga teleport. Which that was a really hard move to pull off. The yoga teleport. And then it was very stretchy. He could reach you from across the map with his yoga punches and kicks. And then, of course, E Honda, the Japanese sumo wrestler, with the 100-hand slap, infamous move, similar to Chun-Li's lightning kick, but with the hands instead. Then he's got the sumo smash, the butt stomp. That's always fun. And then the headbutt, the flying torpedo move, kind of like Raiden from Mortal Kombat. E Honda was big. He had the big bear hug move. He took up a lot of space on the screen. He could close the gap quickly with the torpedo. Now we move on to Guile, the American soldier, with the sonic boom move. His form of a fireball, which was really cool. And then the flash kick was awesome too. The charging, spinning, jumping kick. So you would just keep throwing sonic booms until the guy tried to jump at you, and then you flash kick him. And then he had the ground throw, suplex, air throw, a couple other cool moves, spinning back fists. Those are all vital if you want to win as Guile. Then now we're into the counter moves, keep away tactics, super strats, and then of course Ken. He is Ryu's kind of equivalent counterpart. They're both the same fighting style, but slightly different variations. I think Ken might be a little faster, Ryu maybe a little more damaging. But the moves are all the same. But they studied in the same dojo together. So, and these are moves that are staples to this game. If you ever heard of Street Fighter, you know these moves. Or even if you haven't heard of Street Fighter, you probably heard of the Hurricane Kick or the Ratsaparalupin or whatever. And the Dragon Punch. So you can Fireball. So Ken and Ryu, they constantly have their beef, their conflict. Uh-oh, we got a little stuck page. I mean, this thing's in pretty good shape, minus that first tear that we saw at the beginning. For being, I mean, this book's probably about 30 years old now. Maybe a little more. I got this back right when I got the game back in the 90s. Nacho cheese throw. Never heard of that one. And here's Ryu. Ken's more of an American. Ryu's Japanese, but they studied under the same dojo or something like that. And you can see the moves here exactly the same way of performing them with the controls. But like I said, Ryu's just maybe a little slower, a little heavier hitting. Oh, we got another little stick. What's going on here? Something got spilled or something. And then we got the psych outs, escape techniques, cheesy patterns. Nothing is quite as satisfying as whooping your friend's ass in Street Fighter. Zangief, man, I always love this shot of him, man. If you know, you can't see it yet, maybe I'll zoom in here a little bit, but this guy is so jacked, the vein popping out of his head is exploding. He is nuts. He's the angry Soviet. He's from the USSR. He's huge, kind of more of a wrestler move style, as you can see with the jump kick here, the spinning pile driver, spinning clotheslines, turbo clotheslines. Now the 360 pile driver, that was the move, man. If you got somebody wrapped up in that, it's like half their health gone in one move. It was kind of tricky to pull off, but very rewarding. Stutter step fake out. We got some combos for Zangief. More artwork for Zangief here. And then Balrog, the American boxer, kind of modeled after Mike Tyson. He has no kick moves at all. He's all punches and headbutts and throws and such. Just a classic boxing style. Dashing punch, turn punch, dashing uppercut. He was fast and heavy hitting. From what I understand, in the Japanese version, Balrog was actually called M. Bison, and who is currently M. Bison in the American version was Balrog, but they switched the names for the American version to avoid copyright issues with Mike Tyson. M. Bison, Mike Tyson. So they switched it. And then we've got Vega, the theatrical kind of masked ballerina type. I don't know what you call him, but he was fast, light, and he had the wall climb. He was the only one that could climb on the wall on his own map there. Everybody had their own stage to perform on. I think he was from Spain. And he was one of the final four bosses. You got into like the final four. It was Balrog, Vega, Sagat, and M. Bison. Here's Sagat here. Similar style to Ryu and Ken, but he's just much larger, much higher reach range. He's the Tiger Knee, where he can close the gap very quick. He's got the fireballs, but he can do a high and a low fireball, which adds another layer to his depth to his style. But he was very difficult. Huge, strong, fast. And apparently the scar running across his chest was put there by Ryu and his lightning uppercut. And then we get into M. Bison, the final boss. I'm trying to get this corner full. There we go. M. Bison, the final boss in this game, Street Fighter 2 Turbo. Very tough. He's got the scissor kick, which closes the gap very quick. The head stomp, he can come over the top, close the gap very quick as well. And the Psycho Crusher, similar to the E Honda Torpedo, but with more burning power. Very strong, very fast. Tough boss for sure. Alright, let's try to get these pages unfolded here. There we go. And as we wrap up the characters, we're coming close to the art section of the book. Then we got computer hyper fighting. Just gives you different strategies for playing a character versus, like when you're fighting a certain character, like good strategies to beat them down. Overall, an awesome guide. It's very well put together. Makes good use of the artwork. It's got a breakdown of everybody's moves and strategies to actually use against other fighters. And then we get into the expert section here. Hurricane over fireballs. So with, for instance, the hurricane kick can go through fireballs if someone's shooting a fireball at you. So, you know, it's kind of something you'd probably figure out along the way anyways, but it's nice to know ahead of time, just so you can plan out your strategy, how you want to perform. And then Chun-Li versus Ken. Chun-Li versus Guile versus Ken. And then we go into Zangief and Ryu. Alright, and then we got some hyper rankings here. Ranks each character versus each character. Now we're into the art of Street Fighter 2, and this is an awesome picture to start the art section with, in my opinion. Just a straight ass shot of Chun-Li doing her spinning kick. And then here we go, a couple just like different smaller snippets of each, and different versions: Turbo, Champion, Original, Super. Different versions of each character. Chun-Li here with the killer thighs, Dhalsim with the ribs sticking out, arms stretching, E Honda with the butt stomp here, the sumo smash. Awesome artwork, character designs are all cool. Guile, and then we got Zangief. Any more blood squirting out of his head here? No. I like this one though, he looks a little nutty there. His eyes are bulging, and then we go into Ryu and Ken, of course, right next to each other. And then Balrog, Vega, we go into the... Another interesting thing with Vega and Chun-Li, they were the only two that could jump off of the edge of the screen, as if there was a wall there. Like if you're jumping midair and you hit the edge of the screen, you can jump off of it. The only two that could do that. And then we got Sagat, and of course M. Bison. And then we close it out with a Ryu shot. And then now it looks like we go into the new challengers. This one did add a few new ones. Cammy, Fei Long, T-Hawk. There's an arcade cabinet. That's what we used to have to play it on back in the day. There's a few more. Tournament battle. There's some Cammy moves now. Now we're into the new characters. Cammy, I think she's Australian. Or no, British special agent. Okay, England. It's right there in front of me. Some more Cammy moves. Cammy was quick and light, but wasn't really my style. And then we got DJ from Jamaica. He was kind of more like a dancing fighting style. Lots of kicks and breakdance moves, kind of. But strong, large. Might be a little on the slower side. And then Fei Long. We pretty much got your Bruce Lee knockoff here from Hong Kong. He's fast, he's furious. He actually has a move similar to Ryu and Ken with the flaming uppercut, but his is a kick. It's like a flaming uppercut kick. Something to kind of make. And then we got T-Hawk from Mexico. Huge guy. Strong, powerful, not super fast. Honestly, probably one of my least favorite characters out of the game. And then we got some new tricks for Old Warriors. The Beast Roll, the head roll combo. And then a few other tricks for all the different characters there. Ken, Ryu. Ken and Ryu. Balrog, Vegas, Sagat, M. Bison again. Just more tricks for Old Warriors there. And then we go into the Street Fighter tournament section where looks like they interview a couple different pro Street Fighter players. Get some tips from them. A little history of the tournaments. And then, so here, they asked this guy to rank his characters. Guile being number 1, okay. Ryu, Sagat, Blanka, Ken, Dhalsim, Chun-Li at number 7. Zangief, Balrog, E Honda, Vega, Bison as the last one. Interesting. And then Hyper Fighting ending reveals. You can see right here the poster's been ripped out. It's gone, long gone. So there's different endings you can achieve by beating the game on certain difficulty levels. Some of these I never got to see. They're super hard. I did see some of these Chun-Li endings. I remember that. Level 8, no rounds lost. That's no continues lost. So those are going to be hard. And then we got a final shot of Chun-Li with some author bios. And then the back of the book here. See, this one's a little beat up on the back side there. the only definitive guide to the greatest fighting game of all time. Everything we need to win on Super Nintendo and Genesis. So this is just kind of a back advertisement. If it was probably wrapped in plastic before the game, before you could read it. $9.95 US, not bad for $10. It's pretty cheap, but this was 30 years ago, so. Alright, well that's going to do it for Street Fighter 2 Turbo Strategy Guide Hyper Fighting for the Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, and the arcade. I appreciate you all hanging out with me and checking out the video. Don't forget to hit the like, comment, and subscribe buttons so you can let me know what you want to see in the new ones, new episodes, and also so you can see when I got new episodes posted. You'll get notifications. But I appreciate you all hanging out with me. I'll catch you on the next one. See you next week.
Alright folks, partners and pilgrims, I appreciate you hanging out with me. That's been the Street Fighter 2 Turbo Guide. Don't forget to tune in next week when I put out another episode. Next week we're going to be doing Mortal Kombat. We're going to keep the retro gaming train going. So don't forget to tune in next week for Mortal Kombat. This has been Street Fighter 2. Like I said, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Appreciate you hanging out with me. See you on the next one, partners.